Okay, last night's lesson was 6.4a about compound inequalities containing and tonight's lesson is about compound inequalities containing or. So a compound inequality containing or is true if one or more of the inequalities is true. And the graph of a compound inequality containing or is the union of the graphs of the two inequalities. So last night it was the intersection, meaning that it had to be a place where both of them were true, where the solution sets of the two graphs overlapped. Now when we talk about the union, we're talking about where either one are true, but not necessarily both. So now let's look at an example where we have negative 3h plus 4 is less than 19, or 7h minus 3 is greater than 18. So first of all, we're just going to solve these two things independently. I will on this side subtract 4 from each. Okay, you'll have negative 3h is less than 19 minus 4 is 15. Divide both sides by negative 3. That means that my symbol will change direction and h is greater than negative 5. I'm going to do the same thing for 7h minus 3 is greater than 18. So let me just rewrite that over here. And I want to put an or between these two. So I'll add 3 to both sides over here. And 7h is greater than 21. Divide both sides by 7, and that means that h is greater than 3. So I have h is greater than negative 5, or h is greater than 3. Okay, so if we look at the graph of each of these, the graph of h is greater than negative 5 would be an open circle at negative 5 with everything shaded to the right of it. If we then did the same thing for the graph of h is greater than 3, here's our negative 5, here's our 3, we would have an open circle at 3 with everything shaded to the right of it. And that's our graph of h is greater than 3. If we talk now about what would the union of these two graphs look like, that would mean we would look in any place that we had shaded on either graph would now become a solution set of the compound inequality. So we would shade everything from negative 5 onward, okay? We would include anything that we had shaded from either of the first two graphs, from this one and from that one. If we shaded it in either one of these, we're going to shade it for our solution, okay? So this would be the graph for the union for h is greater than negative 5 or h is greater than 3. That would be the solution for that. So to summarize, what the difference between the compound and inequalities and the compound or inequalities, if it's a compound and inequality, that means that you look for the intersection of the two graphs. You have to look for the place where both of them are true. But with an or, only one of them has to be true in order to make the compound inequality true. So in other words, you look for where either one of the two things are true and you shade where either one of them are true. So we'll discuss this a little bit more in class, and we will definitely go over a couple more examples before you do your homework. So it hopefully will kind of make things a little bit more clear if you're not getting it just from the video. So that's it for tonight.